"We're not making it out, Commander. Tell them goodbye." The radio crackled with fear. Deep in enemy territory, a 12-man SEAL team was trapped in a narrow canyon, bleeding and out of ammo. They'd fought for hours, but the enemy had them boxed in, and air support had been denied. Command had already marked the team as potential loss. Even the SEAL commander, a decorated war veteran with ice in his veins, lowered his voice and muttered the unthinkable. "We've been abandoned." Then came a voice no one expected. "This is Valkyrie 1. I'm going in. I need immediate clearance to go off mission." The operations center froze. That call sign didn't belong to any scheduled flight. But when they checked the ID, eyes widened. It was Captain Elena Stormler, the only woman in her squadron, and one of only a handful of active female A-10 Warthog pilots in the entire Air Force. She had launched on a training run, but diverted mid-air when she caught the distress signal. She wasn't assigned. She wasn't ordered. But she was already en route. Command refused. Too dangerous. No backup. Anti-aircraft missiles were crawling the skies, but Elena didn't flinch. She clicked off the safety and muttered, "They would have done the same for me." No one believed she'd make it. Not the commanders. Not the SEAL team. Not even her own wingman, who bailed the moment radar lit up with hostile locks. But Elena. She stared down that canyon like she'd stared down every man who ever told her she didn't belong in a cockpit. She wasn't there for glory. She wasn't there for medals. She was there because somebody had to go. Years ago, they told her to quit. "You're too emotional for combat. You'll cry in the cockpit. You'll get people killed." During training, her simulator was sabotaged, her locker trashed. Instructors laughed behind her back, but she never gave in. She studied longer, flew harder, and every time they said she didn't belong, she carved the words into her mind, fuel for the day she'd prove them all wrong. That day was now. She dove into the canyon without backup. Her A-10 shook under heavy fire, but she flew lower. Too low. Trees whipped past her canopy. She flipped the Warthog sideways between the cliff walls, something no pilot had ever dared in combat. The enemy never saw it coming. Her GAU-8 Avenger cannon lit up the valley like thunder from hell. Trucks exploded. Mortars silenced. The canyon trembled with the sound of a pilot who refused to leave anyone behind. The SEAL team looked up, stunned. 1 minute they were waiting to die. The next, the sky was ripping open in their favor. But it wasn't over. 3 enemy tanks rolled out from the ridge, locking onto her with deadly precision. She had no missiles left, just a damaged bird, a few seconds of fuel, and a heart that wouldn't quit. She hit the radio. "Commander, when I say run, you run. Don't look back." She climbed, higher, then cut her engines and let the A-10 fall. She dove straight at the tanks, manually locked her cannon mid-drop, and opened fire. The lead tank exploded in a fireball. The other 2 turned, confused. Too late. She reignited her engines at the last possible second, pulled a vertical climb through the smoke, and vanished into the clouds. The SEALs ran. Broken, bruised, bleeding, but alive. When the dust settled and evac finally arrived, the SEAL commander stood with tears in his eyes. He looked up at the A-10 making its final pass overhead, smoke trailing from its wings, and saluted. Not a word was spoken. He didn't need to say anything. That salute said it all. Later in the debrief, a general told her, "You disobeyed orders. You endangered assets. You violated flight protocols." Elena didn't blink. She simply said, "If I didn't, they'd be dead." They didn't give her a medal. Not at first. It was too political, too messy. A woman breaking the rules to save men who outranked her. It didn't sit right with the bureaucracy, but her story spread, whispered in hallways, shouted in training camps. Recruits started calling her the Valkyrie. Photos of her jet were printed and taped to lockers across the country. Young girls wrote letters saying they now wanted to fly, not because it was easy, but because someone like her showed them it could be done. Eventually, the Pentagon caved. She received the Distinguished Flying Cross in a quiet, closed-door ceremony. No cameras, no media. But Elena didn't care about applause. "I didn't do it for awards," she said. "I did it so the next girl who gets laughed at in pilot school remembers someone believed in her when no one else did." And that's the truth of legends. They don't wait for permission. They move when no one else will. They act when even commanders lose hope. So when you hear the name Elena Stormler, don't just remember the mission. Remember the moment when one woman, with no backup, no clearance, and no fear, rewrote the rules of war and brought home 12 souls who were already being mourned. Before we end this story, let us know in the comment, where are you watching from? If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more powerful stories like this one. You never know. The next one might just change your life.